Broncos and Eagles. This was arguably the game of the weekend. I think it was marred by some questionable officiating. I'm not going to lie.
Mhm.
Like, I thought that there was certainly some blown calls that
Yep.
impacted the game here, but for Denver to come away with a 21-17 win, and to really kind of build off of Bo Nix needed that building block game. And
Yep.
I think he got a lot of help. I mean, Cortland Sutton was fantastic in this game. Evan Ingram these guys made some great individual plays that overcame, I think, just whatever rust or jitters Bo Nix is knocking off this season. Like, it just seems like he is still, he's getting into it, right? It's not like Jaden Daniels where everything just looks like butter as soon as he comes out and it looks super smooth. Bo, I think, is just, there's just a little bit of dirt that needs to get knocked off, but his receivers are helping him. This was a complimentary game plan, and I thought that Sean Payton pushed all the right buttons.
Yeah, and I think like the trust in his team too. Like I think there's value in that. Like that they lost a couple of close games. The Colts game, they probably should have won it. There's a leverage penalty at the end there. And then they blow the lead late against the Chargers, but they were able to respond with the blowout of the Bengals, and then coming back on a short week because the schedule, people they don't care about these things anymore. So like, let's send Denver across the country on a short week, and then they go to London. This is an interesting spot for the Broncos to be in, just psychologically, having to deal with all of that. You know what I mean? Like, and I just like look at the trust that Sean Payton had, and like in his players late in this game, and the fact that in that spot again against the world champs on the road, down 17-3, I think like the mental toughness it takes to come back and and basically keep swinging on the champion in the fourth quarter, and the 3rd and 15, the throw that Nix made to Sutton, right, and Sutton getting downfield for 34 yards, and then Ingram fighting fighting to get into the end zone, and then Sean Payton gambling the way that he did, and going for 2, and then after that freaking 4-minute drive they went on, to kind of close the Eagles out. There's so much good stuff there for the Broncos to take. And I think, to me, like one of the biggest things is I look at like the way that Sean Payton has run his team, and there's like this Parcells thing to how old school they are about everything they do, the 2.5-hour practices, the full contact, all of that different stuff. Like, this is a win to me that reflects all of that.
I think the one thing that you take away, and I'm sure that Kevin Petula wants to just slam his head into a concrete wall at this point, because it was like, you're not throwing a ball to A.J. Brown enough. You're not throwing the ball to A.J. Brown enough. And then in this game, A.J. Brown kind of had a situation where he slowed up on a deep ball, but you threw the ball to A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith a combined, let's see, 18
18
times
times, yeah.
out of the 38. And then Saquon Barkley had 6 carries. And now everyone's saying, you're not running the ball. You're not running the ball enough. But here's the truth of it, right? Is that I think that I thought it would take another year, but seems to be happening now, where the Eagles' superpower of just being bigger, stronger, faster, harder on the offensive line and being able to just demolish everybody else, that advantage has winnowed to the point where this is not a given anymore. And you can't count on cracking a big run in
Yeah.
these games. And I don't think it's schematic. I think it's just reality,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still, I mean, look, it's one loss, and it's their second loss in 21 games, I think. So you don't want to make too much of it, but I still think this is an Eagles team that can win a lot of different ways, and even in losing this game, like, was there a discernible weakness that the Broncos ripped open? I don't think so. I think the Broncos just outfought them at the end, like,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like there was something like, oh, there it is. Like, that's what's wrong with this team,
Yeah.
I'm with you, like saying like it's tough to have to win that way every week in the NFL with what the NFL is now. But I don't know that you'd really look at this and say like there's any sort of like, yeah, like that's something that everybody's going to take advantage of. Like the way there was a couple of years ago when they went 10-1, but the defense was really struggling.
I'm gonna give it time. Like it's like the Chiefs thing. It's a trap that you fall into. I think with the Eagles too, where the more you get wrapped up in this thing not operating like the 1995 Nebraska Cornhuskers, the more
Yeah.
that you put yourself in a situation where you're gonna look silly when they're the 1 seed or the 2 seed. And
Yeah.
how big is the sample size? I don't know. They're 4-1, so
Yeah.
I think we save judgment for another week.